Welcome, everybody. I'm Belinda Sandor. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. Let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. For those of you joining us for the first time, I'm Belinda Sandor. I am the founder of the VA Connection, where I coach and mentor aspiring and established virtual assistants to create, grow, and scale their businesses. And I work with my students in my free online community, my courses, and coaching programs. And today I'm going to be your host of Lessons from the Cockpit, where I share tactical and practical information to get your business off the ground, no matter where you're starting from. And I'd love to hear where you're coming in from in the comments, so please let me know. We are live streaming all the places. We are on Facebook. We are on LinkedIn. We are also on YouTube. And if you're watching from YouTube, I'd love for you to click the subscribe button and ring the bell. We go live several times every single week, and I'd love for you to participate every time. That would be awesome. Okay. Good. So Frederica is here. She's at Easter holiday in Portugal. That sounds awesome. So I see a lot more of you are here as well. So let me know where you are and who's here. So today we're going to talk about imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is it's really tricky and it's very slippery. It's something that can get in your way. And it doesn't really go away. I've been a VA for 13 years, and while I don't tend to have imposter syndrome about being a VA, I do have imposter syndrome about other things in my life, like who am I kidding? I don't know what I'm doing, all the things. And so I really want to talk about where that stems from. I want to talk about why being authentic is a superpower and how it just takes a lot of pressure off and it sort of puts imposter syndrome in its place. Okay. So just, so we're going to dive into it. And any questions or comments you have, please put them in the chat. I'd love to address them while we're here today. Okay. So let me introduce myself first and tell you a little bit about my journey. So this is me and my daughter in 2010 when I was just starting my business as a virtual assistant. And I was way off track for where I had planned to be when I turned 50. So at 50, I had a list. We all have a list, right? I wanted to have a great job. I wanted to be saving for retirement. I wanted to be a homeowner. I wanted to own a car, just these very sort of normal things that I saw everyone else around me having. And I wanted to be happily married. And instead, I was none of those things. I had a business that had failed. I was not saving for retirement. I had spent my savings. I had credit card debt like crazy. I hadn't filed my taxes in 7 years. It was just like this whirling, chaos had taken over my usually pretty ordered life. And I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew that I had to bust a move because having a job making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year wasn't going to cut it. It wasn't going to be enough for me to take care of myself, my daughter, to pay the back taxes, to get us out of credit card debt and all the things. And so I decided that I wanted to go back to my roots. I wanted to I wanted to be able to support us in a way that gave me flexibility and it gave me time to be with Emily because I'm selling, in addition to all this, I'm selling my home. I haven't been able to pay the mortgage for a year, getting divorced, and there's just a lot of turmoil. And I needed something that could really anchor us. And I went back to my roots of admin work because I liked it. And it's funny because I couldn't get a job because people didn't think I was technical enough, which I thought was crazy because, but it was true. Even though I'd worked in the IT department before of a company and managed the computers of another company, but they said I wasn't technical enough. And so I was really stumped. And I thought, all right, I'm just going to go back to admin work. So I started telling everybody I knew, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. I temped for a little bit, but when I tempt, that means working for an agency. What I discovered was the employers were paying way more than I was receiving. And I thought, I got to go right to the source, right? I have to go right to the source. So a fellow entrepreneur told me the best way to get a business started is to tell everyone you know, like, no kidding. And I said, okay, game on. I'm doing this. And one morning I'm at the school bus stop and one of the dads said to me, what's new? And I said, well, I'm starting my own business. I'm doing admin work. And he hired me. I had no idea that he had gone out on his own and started a company and that he needed help with things that I already knew how to do: pay bills, install software on computers, run errands, set up his QuickBooks. So there were things that I already knew how to do that completely changed his life because he was no longer having to worry about them, and his wife's life as well, because she had 3 kids, a full-time job, and she was trying to manage it too. So the takeaway here is that you really don't know where your clients are going to come from. And if you can quiet the imposter syndrome that we're going to talk about in a minute and just authentically be yourself, like I was at the school bus stop, clients will come to you 100%. So stop trying to prospect and figure out where they are. All right. Stop trying to figure out where they are. And, one of the things that was critical for me was I had to change my mindset. It was scarcity and fear and all of that got me into the place that I was in, where there wasn't enough and I wasn't feeling that I was enough. And I had to shift that, because the person who had gotten me into debt, who had everything turned upside down, was not the person who could get me out of it. So I had to shift the way I was thinking. And it literally hurt my brain to do that. But it was so critical to start monitoring my thoughts and saying to myself, you need to be nicer to yourself. Stop calling yourself names. Let yourself off the hook, and to really shift everything into the positive. Like here's an example. I have to paint the chicken coop today. I have to. Do I really? I get to paint the chicken coop today. I'm looking forward to painting the chicken coop. When I'm outside painting the chicken coop, I'll be in the fresh air and I'll be moving one of our goals forward, which is bringing our chickens down this weekend. So just shifting it from, I have to paint the chicken coop today, to, oh, yay, right? Because it really is yay. Yesterday I went out there and I was painting and I was like, we're getting a lot done. This is really fun. We're doing it together. And we're going to put the wire on the coop tomorrow and it's going to be great. And, so just making small shifts like that can really be life-changing. And that's how you start it. That's how you start it. So I developed systems along the way that enabled me in my virtual assistant business to work with over 225 clients and earn over $1 million in a 10-year period. And I want you to know that you can do it too. You can absolutely do it too. And the systems that I developed and the methods that I use to build my own business are what I teach my students at the VA Connection. And I would love a chance to teach you too. So today is a different picture. For sure, this is me and my new husband. We've been married 2.5 years, Greg. Been looking for this man my whole life and found him and got married at 60. And these are all of our children. You can see Emily and the 4 boys, David, Charlie, Stephen, and Andy here with us on our wedding day. And I have a thriving business, that I built one day at a time. That's the thing, we all want that overnight success, and it's a long game, like one day at a time. And I can breathe again. I can breathe again. And it is such a relief to have recovered at 50, because here's the thing, I thought it was too late. I thought at 50, I don't know why. I mean, I'm 63 now. I don't feel like it's too late at all. There's definitely choices that I've made. Like, I know I'm not going to medical school, but there are so many other things that I want in my life, that absolutely can happen. And I want you to know that too, that it's not too late, and you can get started at any moment. And so here's where I am now. Here's where I am sitting in behind this door. I don't know if you can see it right here. Behind this door, I am sitting right on the other side of this porch. And Greg and I, we found this house. It was a 13-year adventure, repairing my credit, building my credit, paying down the debt, growing the business, all the things. And so we relocated to Virginia, and this is the beginning of my second week here. And we're going to go up to Connecticut this weekend and get the chickens and move them into the coop and the run that we've been working on. But really, mother at 40, married at 60, and homeowner at 63, it's not too late. And I have still so much energy and enthusiasm and optimism about what's coming next for us. So we're going to be restoring this little sweet farmhouse that was built in the 1880s. And I'm very excited about that. And let me tell you, imposter syndrome can totally set in when looking around at this house, because every surface needs to be touched. And it's going to take a while, right? It's going to take a while. And I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I've got Greg, and he is very handy and understands, all things houses. And I'm learning. I'm definitely learning. All right, so let's dive into this whole concept of imposter syndrome, okay? Well, first I want to say hello. So we've got Kathy is here, and Linda, and George. We've got Jackie, and Tammy is here, and Heather. Jane is here. Hello, hello, hello. So I'm glad you're all here. Karen is here as well. Welcome. I'm glad that you're here. We have a lot of people here on this live stream today. That's exciting. So when I started my business, the one that failed, it was an online baby gift boutique. It was successful in a lot of ways, but not financially. And I learned a lot. When I first started, I had huge imposter syndrome. I thought it was important to create a big barrier between me and my customers, because I didn't want to let on that it was just me, kind of like the Wizard of Oz, like behind the curtain. I wanted them to think it was this big bustling business and they could trust us, and all the things. And so I started to put all these systems in place to hide me. And so I did things like I created email aliases like info at, support at, and just created all of these layers. And the truth was that, so here's what happened. So one day I answered the phone. Usually I was busy packing boxes and I let it go to voicemail, but I answered the phone. I said, Blueberry Babies, this is Belinda. And the woman practically gasped, right? She said, oh my gosh, I can't believe you answered the phone. I love your store. Your gifts are so wonderful. And your daughter is so cute. Emily's on the homepage of the website. And, and she was surprised. I was surprised that she knew my name. She knew Emily's name. She was a repeat customer. I recognized her name when she told me. But the thing is that my imposter syndrome was so loud that it caused me to actually hurt my success factor, right? And it was a valuable lesson to me to hear the enthusiasm in her voice when she was talking to me. So over the years, I have found many ways to create the connection, because that's what we're in the business of. We're in the business of helping people's businesses, but we get clients by creating connection, right? And when we create the connection, the imposter syndrome quiets down because we can see that we're enough, we're okay, we can do this. And we do that through relationships, all right? So so let's take 3 areas, and then I want to talk about getting into action, okay? So your voicemail, believe it or not, is an opportunity to create connection. So instead of hearing, the monotone computer generated voice saying, you have reached 617-755, right? Instead of that, I want you to record a voicemail message that says, hello, this is Belinda. Well, say your own name. This is Belinda Sandor, Rocket Girl Solutions. Please leave a message and I'll call you back, right? It's a way to create the connection. That's what we want to do. Now, email. Let's talk about email. A lot of you have had corporate experience, or you have had experience with people who are in corporate. I want your email address to be your name, your first name, @yourbusiness.com, right? Not b.sandor@Rocket Girl Solutions, or b.sandor, or belinda.sandor. It's just Belinda, right? It creates a connection. It shows that it's how can I say this? It removes a layer of facade, right? It removes a layer of facade between me and the customer. And I want people to Also, be able to reach out to me. So in my email signature, I have my name, my cell phone number, and a link to schedule time on my calendar, right? So I want to be as accessible as possible, and people do not take advantage of this. You would be surprised, because there's no way for them to hide who they are, right? If they get on my calendar and we're having a meeting, it's the two of us. All right. Now, the other thing I want you to do is when you are speaking to someone, to pay attention to the tone of the conversation. I want you to use everyday language to illustrate the points of how you can help people. So if someone says to me, uh, I would like to start taking credit cards in my business, I can start whipping out terms like merchant account, API, blah, 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 and sound like I'm the smartest person in the room. However, they're not going to know what I'm talking about. So I've created a barrier, again, between me and the person who might want to work with me, because they probably feel foolish. They don't know what I'm talking about. What you want to say in a case like that is, absolutely, I can help you do that. Where did you want to allow your customers to pay you, on your website, or did you want to, what were you thinking? And just ask them a question and stop talking and let them tell you, because it's rarely what we think. It's just rarely what we think, until we have a ton of experience. So definitely think of, just ask the questions, be authentic, use everyday language like you are explaining it to someone who doesn't have a clue. And I've even found that sometimes I've made the mistake where I am talking to someone and they seem pretty tech savvy. And so I start whipping out the jargon and I've lost them too. So really, no matter who you're speaking to, use plain English to explain what you're talking about. And again, it'll create the relationships, and you'll realize that you don't have to hide, because imposter syndrome is all about hiding, right? It's all about not being enough, comparing yourself to others. But when you're just authentically you, and you come from your heart of service, and you have genuine conversations with people and make yourself available, it's very attractive. It's very attractive. Now, I want to talk about one more aspect of imposter syndrome, and that is what else can quiet it. Action is what quiets imposter syndrome. If you can take an action, a small action, toward whatever it is you're working on, because here's the thing: once you take action, you have something to celebrate, right? So very, very small. So I have my house is a total wreck right now. Like, there's boxes everywhere. I'm not clear where my clothes are. It's interesting because I'm going out for drinks on Saturday night. I have no idea how I'm going to find my clothes between now and then, but I will. But the thing is that I spent this weekend working on one room, right? The kitchen, unpack the kitchen, make the kitchen feel like home. You can do the same thing in your business. Pick one project that you want to work on. It could be getting your EIN. It could be designing a business card. It could be the most productive would be finding a networking event that you can attend and learn how to talk about your business in a clear, simple way and start to spread the word. So one thing at a time. So you're not networking and building your website and figuring out the debit card system. You're doing one thing at a time. Everything will work out. If you get a client and you're worried about how are they going to pay you, let them write you a check, Venmo, PayPal, a million things, Zelle, to get started. And then you can figure out the best payment method for you. But you just want to get across the goals, right? You just want to get across the goals of figuring out what you want to offer, talking to people about it, getting the word out, and all the things. So action will quiet the imposter syndrome because you're proving to yourself that you can do something. Now, when you're learning something new, it is massively frustrating, right? It's massively frustrating because there's start, stop, mistake, fix, all the things. You're not just learning something. You're not wasting time. You're not wasting time. That's what it looks like when you learn something new. So I want you to relax and try to enjoy the learning of something new. Okay. All right. Now, starting on Monday, we are going to have a training called Kickstart Your VA Business. It's a 5-day training. And if you have imposter syndrome and you don't know where to start your business or even how to decide if being a virtual assistant is for you, please sign up and attend. You can get more information at vakickstart.com. And we're going to get started on Monday. We've got mindset sessions that are very valuable. Those are at 11. You'll get an email when you sign up. It'll explain everything. There'll be a link. You can download all the events to your calendar. And we're going to talk about mindset every morning. And then we're going to dive into exactly step by step for 5 days in a row, how to get your VA business started if that's the direction you want to head in. So definitely sign up if that's you. And I'll see you on Monday. Okay, good. So thank you for joining me for this session of Lessons from the Cockpit. I'm Belinda Sandor, telling you you can slay imposter syndrome by getting into action. Be authentically who you are, and the world will love you. And I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.